Call the meeting to order. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. All members are present except for Council Member Fickman. Approval of the agenda. We have two additions. 7D, potential land purchase is an addition, and then there is an additional informational item in number 11. Yes. Vicki, did you have any other changes?
Yeah, just B and C, they'll be tabled. Continue until the next meeting, 7A, or 7B and 7C.
7A and 7,
B and C.
7B and C.
B and
B and
C.
C, I'm sorry.
Okay. And it possibly could be 7A.
And I think we have some reports that are probably going to happen. So.
Right. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda with those changes?
Motion to approve.
A motion by Heidi,
Second.
second by Dave. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4 in favor, none against. Approval of the minutes of the January 2nd, 2019 regular meeting. Are there any changes, corrections, clarification?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Dave to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Second by Diane. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4 in favor, none against. This now brings us to our public open forum. Is there anyone here that would like to speak to the council? Is there anyone here that would like to speak to the council? Is there anyone here that would like to speak to the council? Seeing no one, our public open forum is now closed. We have no public hearings. That brings us to our reports and presentations. The police chief is on a fire call, so we'll pass on that one. We will then go to planning commission report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. In your packet, on page 11, you have the agenda from the Planning Commission meeting that was held on January 8th. We had the election of a chairperson and vice chair. We had approval of the minutes, and then I had a lot of the year-end totals, and that was in my reports and presentations. And for December, I only had one building permit. And we had a breakdown of the zoning permits. And this year, I had a chart in there from 2012 to 2018, listing each month and how many permits were issued in that month, and then the grand total for the end of the year. And this year was $8.1 million that we did. 2017, we did $6.3 million. And then also, there's another chart with a breakdown of quarterly of the permit fees, state surcharge, and the plan check fee. And I did, in 2018, we built 7 new homes with a total value of about $1.9 million. So it was a good year.
Questions?
I just had a couple people approach me regarding receiving fines for having the city have to shovel their sidewalk. Okay. Well, I know we cover ordinances at
Right,
planning committee,
Right.
so or planning commission, I just wanted to, I'll talk to you later then.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Public Works Department, Ben is also on a fire call, so we will move on to airport.
Okay, the airport board, is this on? Yes. The airport board met in regular session on Wednesday, January 9th. It was its regular bi-monthly meeting. They meet every other month. They welcomed their new member, which was Dave Thomas. They elected officers for 2019. Tom Winker is chairman, Mike Bouchard is vice chair. They reviewed the closeout report for the airport runway. Everything has been done there. We're just expecting a reimbursement of $248,517, and then that project will be done. The airport zoning update, we're waiting for the appointment of Stearns County rep to the Joint Airport Zoning Board, and then the first meeting will be scheduled. On the entrance road project, it's complete with the exception of some shouldering. Retainage will be withheld until that is finished in the spring. Then this will also be closed out. And reimbursement for expenses incurred to date has been submitted, so we will be receiving that shortly. The airport master CIP was amended to include about $140,000 in repairs to doors at the 2000T hangar and the FBO hangar. And if awarded, this could be like a 70% state, 30% local grant. This is an add-on grant, so if funds are available at the state level, they'll select some projects that they may fund. So we get it into the CIP, and then we just wait till about May or June before they pick somebody. And then also, the only other thing out there, the bulletin board out in the ADA building is going to be updated to complete new information, or to include new information we've received from MnDOT Aeronautics, mostly with things such as responding to accidents or if there's a spill, and more of an emergency services type things that they've given us to post out there. So we'll be updating that, plus some of the other maps and everything are old, so just going to give it a facelift. Other than that, that's it for the airport board.
Questions?
Did we include the in the budgeted 30% in the budget for? or
Yes,
the-
yeah,
okay.
that is in there.
Any other questions, comments? Okay. EDA report?
The EDA met in regular session on Wednesday, January 9th. They meet monthly, and this was their first regular monthly meeting. They welcomed new members Heidi Leach and Joe Fickman. Those are the two council members that are now representing the EDA. They elected officers for 2019. That's Kevin Uphoff is the chairman, Jeannie Marthaler, vice chair, and Heidi Leach is secretary. BJ Welly, chamber rep, gave the report on the chamber activities. Their current focus is the annual meeting and awards ceremony, which is on January 21st. So if anybody if you haven't got your tickets yet, they're available at the chamber. Kevin Uphoff, the Sauk Center Opportunities representative, reported that they are reviewing their protective covenants on what can locate in the industrial park, because there was some letters to the editor, et cetera, and they just want to make sure that they have a good understanding of what their restrictions are. The small city loan to JAMMDD is wrapping up. Most invoices have been submitted to the city, and they're being reviewed for eligibility and payment. Right now, we're looking at the estimated qualified cost for reimbursement. To date, are about $28,000. I expect that to go up a little bit as all the final bills come in. We reviewed the marketing contract for the info center and the 59-acre tract by the truck stop. The contract is now month to month after the year of expiration, and so they have invited the realtor to attend the next meeting. Progress is moving forward on the railroad townhome project. The engineer and surveyor is working on the plat, and the contractor is finalizing the building plans. And at the next meeting, we're going to have an updated report of EDA activities and financials. So they'll have a kind of an update on where the EDA is sitting. So we have no action requested of the EDA tonight.
Questions? Comments? Okay. And policy committee report has been taken off the board too.
Okay.
Action items, board and commission appointments. We have the one position for the park board. That one there, am gonna name Roger Harrison to. And for the Convention and Visitors Bureau, we had 3 positions to be appointed. And I will appoint Joanne Thorson, Kelly Freeze, Nikki Vogt, and then Stacy Michaels will be the Chamber of Commerce representative. Is there any questions or concerns? Do I have a motion to accept those appointments?
I'll make the motion.
A motion by Diane, do we have a second?
No second.
Second by Heidi. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4 in favor, none against. Stormwater utility credit policy, which would have been part of policy.
That was part of the policy, so
That
that
was
would be
the
B and
policy.
C that have been
Right.
tabled.
That was gone, and also the fee schedule review was gone. So potential land purchase.
At the December 2018 City Council meeting, the council passed a resolution supporting the detachment of property south of the section line. That's property out on the southeast corner of the city. I did include a copy of the map for you to take a look at. At that time, there was discussion regarding the 66-foot wide access drive to the property in question. This is the same 66 feet that was previously, now prior to the current owner, anticipated to be the access to not only his property, but also a landlocked parcel and the city's stormwater/park parcel. And I'd have that aerial picture that you have, you can kind of see the different parcels are outlined in yellow that was all going to access by that 66 feet. But at the time of the platting, it was stated at the Planning Commission meeting that that 66 feet would be the easement for those purposes. However, in the end, it was sold, essentially cutting off that access. The landlocked parcel has the option to petition the city through the court to establish a cartway, but they are not pursuing that option until we have reviewed our other options. The property is now for sale, which would be the larger piece, and the 66 access strip is being offered to the city for $15,000. If accepted, the city would then control the parcel for access purposes. We could either develop the roadway or designate it as minimum maintenance. In addition, the city would control the parcel for future expansion. So the request tonight is to consider whether we would purchase that property or not. And it would still stay in the city. It's part of the part that would stay in the city. It would just be a city parcel that could be developed into a roadway. We could give easement over it, but we would control it. So that's what the request is for you tonight. And Neil Legeld, who is the realtor who is working on that, is here if you have any specific questions about the property.
Questions?
How do we access the city property now?
We drive on that property because
drive on
the
that-
current
that
landowner
section.
has not prevented us from driving on it, put it that way.
Okay. I see that there's an easement of sorts that runs northeast, southwest between a couple of properties there. That looks like a 20-foot easement.
Yeah, that's platted as kind of a trail easement to get down there. But because we have a stormwater pond down there, we have to get down there with things a little bit bigger than a trail easement will accommodate.
Okay. What do we go down there? I mean, I don't see that we do a lot of pond maintenance, so.
No, what happens down there is like if we have to repair the riprap, and there'll come a time when we have to clean out the silt, and then we do go back in there and mow.
Okay. All right, we're back there cutting too, so. All right, how long is the 66-foot access that we're talking about?
It's about 1,100 to 1,200 feet.
11 or 1,200 feet?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
It's about a quarter
But it-
mile back in there.
so maybe 600 to the end of the city portion.
Right.
Is there a developed or a roadway that?
It's a Class 5 driveway. It's quite nice, actually.
Okay.
Kind of a driveway there.
One of the things I was wondering about is if we take over ownership of that, or say we purchase it, are we gonna be required to keep that open in the wintertime and maintain it?
It would be similar probably to like 10th Street that goes out kind of across from the ice arena, across Beltline.
Okay.
It's a gravel road, and we can declare it as minimum maintenance and not have to maintain it. We can make an arrangement with the property owner to maintain it, or we can just go in and plow it. It's something that we would have to look at. If we do take ownership of it, we just have Public Works look at that. Sometimes it's easier to just drive in there and turn around and come back out than to have a formal, build up the road and
Right.
everything. We just go in there on a gravel road, and it's a gravel road. In the future, if it ever gets upgraded, they certainly could petition that to be done.
We have a portion of this in the comp plan set aside for possible future trail use, correct?
What do you mean?
Where this would access to that back area along the river?
Not through this way,
Not through
no.
this
That's
way,
private
okay.
property back there. This would just access, Well, it could be any of the property on either side of it, but it really would just access the primary property that's for sale right now, the landlocked parcel and the city parcel, because that field area has access off of 393rd.
Any other questions, concerns?
So the lot that's in the city limits is being sold separately?
It is owned separately and has been for 13 years.
Okay, but I mean, it's for sale separate from the part that we allowed to leave the city.
No, it's not being sold. It's just someone owns it.
Okay, it's just owned, all right.
It's just landlocked.
Yeah, no, it's
Right.
landlocked and it's owned by somebody, and apparently they don't need to access it, or
Right.
they go down the gravel road too.
They want to
Yeah.
build on it sometime in the future, but they can't because they don't have access. But now the cartway law applies to the cities as well, so now, we could be petitioned through the court and require us to get access for them.
The one aspect of us, if the council decides to purchase it, is gonna give us better access to our lot. It's also gonna
Guaranteed access, yeah.
guaranteed access there. Also, it'll help the landowner that's got landlocked land. If he wants to build or develop, then he's got an opportunity to do something with that property. And also, everything's to the south of that access driveway.
Yeah, we may want
We'd
that
be
access
able
at
to
some time
control,
anyway, yeah.
we'd be able to control the property here, the access to that property whenever that would be developed. So, that's the way I'm looking at it. I don't know if anyone else has got any comments.
I think it's a good investment, to be honest. I mean, if they develop that and they build a house there and it's residential, that's taxes for the city too.
Right.
Avoid any future Cartway Court issues as well.
Right. And from what I understand, if we did purchase it, we can, we've got options on how we can do the maintenance on it. We can name it
Well, we
minimum
don't-
yeah.
after the fact or whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we don't have to designate it as a road just because
Right.
we own it.
Right.
Right. So, Joe, I know you just got here, but you got any questions on this part as far as, this is the special
Yep,
edition?
this was a new addition, yep. I guess my questions, I don't know what was addressed, it sounds like the survey was done already for that piece that's gonna be
Right, we have a
split off
current
and
survey
everything.
on it.
Okay, as far as the purchase of this piece of land, the other property is for sale that it's gonna be coming off of, would this be closed concurrently when that property is sold?
We
Or
would,
would we buy this in advance?
I would think that, it'd probably be beneficial to do it at that time because he's going to have a mortgage release and different
Yep.
things that are going to have to happen at the same time. So to match it up with the closing date would probably work best for the seller, I would think, but that's something we would work out.
Okay, that's kinda what I anticipated, but I was just wondering if that was the plan. Otherwise, I don't have any questions beyond that.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Does anyone want to entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion that we purchase a property for $15,000.
Okay, we have a motion by Diane to purchase the property for $15,000. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Dave. Any last minute questions or
Now, I want
comments?
to clarify, so if we enter a purchase agreement, closing is, I mean, presumably if we're buying it, we'll close.
Well,
And that
yeah,
means
we
the
would-
filing,
So this is going to authorize us to execute the purchase agreement, to offer to purchase that or to exercise that. And then if closing doesn't happen, and if the seller is still willing to sell us that piece, it could still happen. And then, if his closing on his house doesn't happen, we could still be the buyer. And then we would, because it's not yet a road, we would give him an easement to his property over this lot, because it'll be a lot at first.
right.
So,
So we're really just authorizing a purchase agreement right now. There's
Right.
not a sale that's
right,
necessarily
because then what would
occurring.
happen if we, purchase agreement, everything's good, we're going to go forward, then at another meeting, you'll actually adopt a resolution.
Okay,
And that would then lay out the details. Is it an easement over a lot, or are we going to develop it as a road, and what's going to happen?
Okay.
Okay. Any other last minute questions? Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. I see Ben walked in. Do you want to let Ben do his report for the Public Works?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Things that we've been up to lately, we had a big snowstorm come around Christmas that took up a considerable amount of time after that happened with snow hauling and snow blowing and taking care of snow banks around the city. We also spent a few days out at the airport blowing back the banks and getting the hangar doors to work and clear from some ice issues. So that everything out there is working good now. Holiday decorations, we got those taken down and put away for the year. A couple of building repairs at the library we've been working on. There was quite a few repairs that had to be made after the snowstorm to trucks and equipment, so we're getting caught up on all that stuff so that everything is ready to go again. Been maintaining the outdoor ice rink. The ice has been in good shape so far this past month, and there's a local church group that's having a outdoor event there tonight, so there should be probably 150 kids using it tonight. And we've also began looking into purchasing a new payloader for 2019, so just starting to get into that a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian's here, so we can let Brian do his thing.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Some of the numbers we had for December 2018. We had 9 alarm calls. We did 2 canine assists for other agencies. We had 36 personal assists. We did 54 business assists. We had 22 assists for other agencies. We had 8 patrols for bar crowds. We had 8 gas no pays. We had 20 medicals, 8 traffic accidents. We did 21 patrols at the school. We did 68 walkthroughs at Walmart. We had 2 thefts. Let's see, we did 9 welfare checks. We gave out 208 verbal warnings. So we had a total of calls of 421 and gave out 208 warnings. So we had a total activity of 629. And compare that to November, it was very equal to November. And then compared to 2017, it was very equal. So pretty much the same. Just a note too, for the K-9 squad, that was approved in the budget. We tried getting that ordered before, right when the budget came out, to get that ordered then. It sounds like they can't get those squads out anymore this year. There's such a high influx of demand for that squad, for that Ford Explorer. So it sounds like I'm working with Jai right now, John Weiss, seeing about getting for the next, it's going to be a 2020 now actually, so just to keep you updated on that. So just to say the cost might be more than we anticipated, so as usual. So that's all I have.
Okay. Questions? Comments? Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Unfinished business, local option sales tax.
So I've been working with Paul Anderson, and he's going to sponsor the bill. That'll go to the Property Tax Committee, and then tomorrow I have a conference call with Tori Westrom on the Senate side. I've been working with the reviser of statutes down at the state, and I provided them with a copy of the ballot question and a copy of the resolution. And so once they get the bill drafted, then they'll send it back to me to review, and then it'll go to the Property Tax Committee after it's signed by Paul and Tori. And so that's kind of where we're at on that. And then they have, I guess, quite a few people that have requested sales tax this year. And so there'll be a committee meeting, and it could be, they hope to hear all of them the same day. So probably be bunched in with a bunch of people that'll go down there and testify. And so if anybody wants to attend that, to go to that committee meeting to help get the bill passed for the city of Sauk Center, that would be probably a good thing if one of you is considering that you would like to do that. And then I will be going down there as well. And they want to know things about what you're going to be using the money for, how does it benefit the state, how does it benefit the city, that type of thing. So kind of to get it through. So that's where we're going. We don't have a date for that yet, but it's probably not going to be till later on in the season because of the number of them that they have to do. So I'll keep you informed when we know more about that.
Okay. Thorson Special Assessment Appeal?
We had on the Thorson Special Assessment Appeal, we had Monday, we had the scheduling conference for that. So we do have a timeline now. We have till March 1st to get all the disclosures into the court. And those would be everything that we've done till now. How we came up with, how we had the public hearings, how we calculated the assessments, anything that we might have done to accommodate them up to this point, to kind of bring a full picture so everybody has the same story. And then what happens then is we'll go into discovery, and at that point, then that would involve getting an appraisal on the property before and after type thing to try to determine if there was any special benefit and what the increase was that. And we actually have till September 1st to get that done. But also by September 1st, they are requesting that we meet in mediation to try to resolve it. And if we don't by that date of September 1st, then it'll get scheduled for a court hearing at some point. I'm not talking like a jury, it's probably going to be in front of a judge. So it very well could be well into winter by time we actually get in front of the judge to talk about that appeal. So that's kind of the schedule that we're on right now. So we're able to gather up everything we've done to date. We're putting that in front of them now. And then after March 1st, if we haven't, after we provided all the information, if we haven't been able to come to some kind of a mediated agreement, then we'll be looking to get an appraiser on board. So kind of gives you an idea of how the process takes, how much time it's going to take, but it will take some time. And we're working with Tom Mayer's new, I don't know if he's a partner or if he's an employee or what he is, but Aaron Sandbig over at Mayor Law, and he's being pretty thorough, so that's good.
Questions on that? Okay. Campground attendant?
Just to remind you that these are still in the process, that the campground attendant is still open until January 31st, as well as the advertisement for bids for the SCBA equipment for the fire department. And I believe now they've had 3 different vendors come in and show them and explain their equipment. Is it 3? Yeah. And that'll be providing bids for that we're aware of so far. So that's moving forward.
Any questions on either one of those items? Okay. New business, local board of review and equalization meeting and training.
Yep, the local board of appeal and equalization is scheduled for Monday, April 15th at 1 o'clock here. I do need a quorum of the council, so I need at least 3 of you, even though it is an afternoon meeting. The county assessor will be present, and we'll be discussing the property tax assessment, which is the values for 2020 taxes. So owners will be able to come in and attend the meeting and appeal the value, and they'll be made aware of that meeting when they get their property tax. No, did they already get that meeting, maybe?
Got that
Yeah,
already.
yeah, we already got that. So they'll be knowing that that's when they have, when then they can come, and this is for taxes in 2020. It's for the value in 2020 for taxes payable then, so. And the council member training can now be completed online. I did attach information. I think Diane's was good until July, but now she has renewed that. And I think, Warren, you're signed up to take it. And if anybody else wants to take it, the online will be open till February 1st. And then it'll be taken down for a period of time, and then it'll go back up. But I do need to have at least 1 member in attendance at that meeting that is certified. So since we have Diane and now Warren, maybe the rest of you, if you have time to take it, that's great. It doesn't cost anything. It kind of gives you a little bit of information about what we're going to do. And we'll move forward, and we'll have the meeting on April 15th.
It's real easy. All you do is just sign in, and it takes 30 minutes to do.
Any other questions, comments on that? Okay. We have our consent agenda. We have schedule of claims, unpaid claims, of $114,824.45, paid claims of $2,721.18, for a total of $117,545.63. We have December checks totaling $729,767.46. We also have resolution number 2019-06, accepting a contribution from the Sauk Center Fire Relief Association for $32,000 to be allocated for the fire department. And I want to thank the Fire Relief Association for that donation. And we have the 2018 contribution list. I will not read that whole thing, but I want to thank everyone that's on it for those contributions for 2018. And we have a gambling application for exempt permit request from Holy Family School for a raffle on March 3rd, 2019 at Holy Family School. Do we have any questions, comments on the consent agenda? Hearing nothing, do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Dave, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Joe. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Informational items. Vicki?
I have a few informational items for you. The HRA Board does have an opening. The term of Robert Pilipnik will expire on March 31st. This is a 5-year term, if anybody is interested for that, and he's been on for many years. I haven't heard whether he plans to reapply. The second item is the annual meeting with the townships in the city to review the annual fire service assessments. Has been scheduled for Tuesday, February 19th at 7:30 p.m. The meeting will be publicly noticed, so if a quorum of the council wants to attend, they can. And this is where we would bring the township board members to the city here, and we'd go over the fire calls, the fire budget, you know, what all happened in the fire department for the year. And then the fire department gives them a small meal, and they get to go see the fire trucks and everything. So it's kind of it's PR, but it also is very informational for them. The Safe Routes to School grant application has been submitted to MnDOT for the planning grant. This grant includes participation from the school, the city, the county, and CentraCare. So this is like a 4-legged grant that we're working on, but the city is the fiscal agent, and we would be the owner of the grant because it would be in the city is where it would occur. The Minnesota DNR Outdoor Recreation Grant is now taking solicitations. The Park Board has recommended the city apply for that grant for the proposed fitness playground, and we actually talked about that last fall. The due date is March 31st. We've been working with representatives from the Community Foundation on it, and the council will be asked at a future meeting for a resolution of support as we get more details on costs and those types of things. And the last thing I have for informational items is TRICAP has reached out to the city to see if anyone on the council would consider serving on the TRICAP board. Previously, most board members are from the county positions, but because of TRICAP's presence in Sauk Center, they're suggesting it might be a good idea to have a representative from Western Stearns County, so they reached out to me to see if any of the council members or the mayor would be willing or interested to sit on that TRICAP board. And their offices are in Waite Park, but they would have board meetings there. And so that is all I have for informational items tonight.
Questions, comments on any of those items? Hearing nothing, brings us to our end of our agenda. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Dave, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Heidi. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Meeting adjourned.